So I'd like to introduce Suzanne DeMasso from Washington State, who is our latest certified quantum EFT practitioner. And Suzanne, tell us how you came to quantum EFT and EFT and
Mm,
how quantum EFT has been used in your life and with your clients.
thank you, thank you. Well, thank you, Jenny. I want to say thank you. I'm so excited to be certified, and yeah, I couldn't be happier to have found this particular facet of EFT. What got me to your particular program was through EFT Universe. I studied with Dawson Church, getting my certification as a clinical EFT practitioner, and I found that via Nick Ortner's book that I actually had to buy twice because I bought it once and I flipped through it and I went right to the back of the book looking for like the secret handshake. I'm like, okay, show me the secret handshake. It didn't work, so I got rid of it in like a flurry of cleaning stuff up. And then somebody mentioned tapping again. I thought, let me buy this book again. So I go on my Amazon list, and there it is. Like years ago, I bought it. I'm like, buy it again. This time I actually read it, got hooked up with Dawson, and then getting hooked up with Dawson is when I found about you and your quantum work. And I knew that was just going to be my perfect match because it takes the science and the soul, and it's a beautiful marriage. How do I use it in my everyday? Well, I use EFT every day as my daily vitamin. Without any words, I tap several rounds every morning, regulating the nervous system like a daily vitamin. And like we were talking before, a daily vitamin, which is great in general, but really what started happening, especially now, I got results when I did quantum. I mean, when I did clinical, I got great results in clinical. It was very clinical, very straightforward and clinical. But then you go into this whole quantum realm, and to me, that's kind of that it just changed everything. It changed everything. Still using the tapping points and the technique, right?
Mhm.
Regulating the nervous system in order to be able to receive and process information, very important. But going into this quantum level, whether it be in this lifetime or other lifetimes or future lifetimes, it just it's a game changer. It's an absolute game changer. So some of the things that I had worked on in clinical that like I said, I made lots of progress. I felt really good about, but it was still sort of nagging or stuck. Like it just wasn't, it was
Wasn't
still
com
stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Started working that on quantum, gone. And one example about the quantum, I remember one night I was angry about something. And so I did some tapping on my own, calling up to highest guides and higher self. And I got done and I was still a little pissed. I was still a little angry. And I thought, well, this is not working. I go to sleep. I wake up the next morning. I'm like, well, let me think about that thing that was pissing me off. And sure enough, it was neutral. It had no energy to it at all. So I use a combination in my daily practice for myself, but in my practice with clients, one-on-one clients, I use a variety of clinical and quantum. Most oftentimes I'm leaning towards the quantum, the soul journey, the soul contracts. That's sort of where my heart really sings, and I could talk about that all day long. Um, but if a client is not necessarily open right at the onset about going quantum and soul journey, we'll stick with clinical, and then eventually they become open and willing to go to quantum. And
Yeah.
so that's how I use that in my practice.
Yeah, because if somebody's in a deep trauma, you need to release that trauma before they can be open to the soul level, the higher learning and lesson, and look at the soul picture. You've got to get rid of that trauma at a human level first.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's no doubt about that. So I do like having both,
Mm,
having clinical and quantum in my toolbox, as well as other tools that I use, but those are my two primary tools.
mm. And how have you seen quantum EFT surprise you with working with a client? What's a result that's surprised.
Oh, wow. So I just had a client that I worked with the other day, and we had worked previous with each other about a trauma. And so we really stayed in clinical. But at the end of that last session, I did introduce a little bit of the soul journey. And she was really open to it. And so a couple of weeks, she took a break. She came back for another group of sessions. And the first thing she said is like, I want to go to the soul journey. I want to go into the quantum, like totally on board with it. Um, and I'm super happy for her because I think that's really where she's going to find some more momentum in soul evolution, really. And isn't that what that's about? You
Yeah,
know, the opportunities that come around in a human experience to evolve our soul,
yeah.
you know?
And there's a higher level of understanding of why we chose to have traumas in our life when we're looking at the soul level and the soul understanding and the higher learning and lesson. Mm,
Absolutely, absolutely. And personally, I find great comfort in that. I
yeah.
find when I can get to that soul higher vibration and level, right? I'm still human. I'm still having these human experiences that sometimes are joyful and sometimes they suck. But when I can
Mhm.
really tap into that higher level, I find great, great comfort knowing that really all is well. I am right on schedule. And
Mm,
everyone else around me is right on schedule. And again, it's that fine rhythm and dance you have with the client to see what's going to be for their highest and best. You know, is
mm,
it clinical? Is it dropping into quantum? Um, yeah, I'm very, I couldn't be more thrilled. I mean, I have been on a spiritual quest for 30 years, trying to
mm,
find my thing, trying to find my purpose, trying to find my thing. This is my thing, and I'm just so grateful to my highest guides and my higher self for giving me the opportunity to get here and really jump in, you know, feet first, all in, and give it my all because it's been, like I said, a game changer, a life
mm,
changer.
mm. Well, thank you for all the work that you do with quantum EFT and clinical EFT. And I'm so proud to have you on our
Mm.
clinical quantum EFT, I mean, our certified quantum EFT practitioner list now.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jenny, and thank you for the work that you've done and introducing and continuing to introduce people to this work because I do believe it's life changing.
Mm.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Suzanne.
Thank you.